Welcome back.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you. Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Alex Dulcea of Walled Lake Western Boys Basketball. How's it going?
Pretty good.
So overall, how's the season going for you guys so far?
We got off to a fairly rough start that we would say. We fell to 1-2, but I feel like we've gathered each other up and we beat two pretty tough teams so far, back to back, and I think we can continue this.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of talk about just overall you've had some pretty good wins as of late, but that became only after some pretty tough losses. I think probably the biggest one that you guys have had was probably against Northern. But after that game, you guys really kind of took off.
Yeah, the Northern game really, honestly, they were hitting everything. We got off to a really rough start and it was hard to come back. We dug our own grave in that game. And it is what it is. It's basketball.
Yeah. But then again, you guys have got some pretty good wins, including a big win against East this week.
Yep. I feel like that's our Western basketball that people should really admire, because all summer, all fall, we really played like that. And I think people should be ready for more basketball like that from us.
Yeah. So what were some of the goals that you kind of worked on as in the offseason to get ready for this year?
Individually or as a team?
As a team, and then just what you personally have worked on to become a better player.
So as a team, we wanted to work together more, like limit the individual play. And honestly, I think it's been working out fairly good. And as an individual, I got probably in the best shape of my life. I ran cross country in the summer and in the fall, and I just got into shape so I could be ready for this basketball season.
Yeah. So kind of talk about have you ever ran?
No, it was my first time.
Really? That's what was that experience like?
It was tough. I'm not gonna lie. The first few practices, I would come home and I would be exhausted. Couldn't move. But later on in the cross country season, I started going to cross country and basketball in the same day, and I noticed my body could keep up with it. So it gave me a good boost because I saw that I could do it, and it just only gave me motivation to keep on going.
So going into into next week, you guys have got after the holiday break, you guys have got some pretty tough opponents coming up. Of course, of course, next week is big, lots of basketball classics as lots of tournaments, as really for the next 2 weeks until conference play really heats up the second week of January. But overall, how after the holiday break, you guys are back at it the 27th.
Yeah. So
of course, against a really, really good Canton team. Overall, how ready are you guys for that? Of course, you're going to take a few days off for the holidays, but getting ready, it's back at it on the back at practice on the 26th to get ready for the 27th.
I think we're pretty ready. I feel like we just need to rest our bodies for a little bit, get to 100%. The whole team needs to get to 100%, fully healthy. And I think picking up these last two wins is a good way to have momentum building up to Canton, because we know the record does not show how good they are. They're a very good team, and it's going to be a good one.
How important is it to, I know during the holidays, you're also, one of the things you're going to do besides spend time with family is eat a lot of food. What's going to be the biggest thing to try to stay in shape over the holidays? Or is it just we'll get back at it when we can?
Oh, for sure. I like doing, if I don't have practice, I like going to the gym. Working out, just lifting a little weights, maybe hitting the treadmill, hit some cardio. I always like to stay a little active on my off days, but not too much where my body would still be hurting.
Yeah. And what's the nut? And then, and lastly, I know that, conference play is coming right up. What's that going to be like heading into the next few weeks?
I think it's gonna be tough because our conference, I mean, it's improved very much throughout the years. It's not really just one or two teams that are dominant as it used to be. I feel like you got Milford, South Line East, obviously, Lakeland. I mean, you have Mott, that's very good. So it should be good. I think all those games are good games, and none of them are going to be easy at all.
All right. Let's get to know you a little bit, Alex. How about that?
All right, for sure.
So overall, who's a player that you kind of looked up to growing up?
I mean, I've been a LeBron fan my whole life since I started watching basketball, really, back in when he was still with the Heat. I loved watching LeBron, but I don't know. I just loved his leadership on the court a lot, his leadership off the court. He was always an example to me, and I just always loved him.
Yeah. Overall, what's your go-to place for food?
Go-to place. Honestly, I don't really eat out a lot. My mom always tried avoiding us to eat out because she's always like, all right, I can make it at the less price.
That's
And
probably smart.
and it's healthier too. Like you don't know what they're using at restaurants. And
Well, sometimes going, with obviously lots of produce and all that stuff and all that, but yeah, it's just
Yeah.
kind of the way to do it there. But also, what's something, and finally, what's something people might not know about you, Alex?
might not know about me. I mean, I don't know. I'm originally Romanian. All my parents, I mean, both of my parents are from Romania. They moved here when in 2001.
Yeah.
So first generation here, just trying to make a name for myself.
All right. Well, Alex, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Best of luck the rest of the year, man.
Thank you.